Hey, welcome back to my CreepyNews lair. Today I wanted to share with you a case that is pretty freaking bizarre. It deals with a chimpanzee named Travis. As you can see in the picture, he looks like a fancy boy, or should I say man, because he's probably very old in his age range for the animal that he is. He was actually killed by a gunshot wound in February 16th, 2009, aged 13. But the reason why he got killed was because he mauled a person's face off and teared off some body parts and stuff like that. It's absolutely gruesome what happened to that person in question, but the animal itself went haywire and was responsible for this, so that's why they had to execute him as well, because he was a danger to all of humanity at that point. So today I wanted to share with you the details they have concerning this case on the wikis, because it's actually pretty interesting from a historical perspective, and also serves as a warning that every animal can of course be dangerous if kept as a pet, because he was kept as a pet, alright, and it can still have some dangers to it, and sadly the worst case scenario came true. Now on the wikis they have the following to say about his background: that Travis was born somewhere in Missouri on October 21st, 1995 at Mike and Connie Brown Casey's compound, currently named the Missouri Chimpanzee Sanctuary. In a separate incident, his mother Susie was fatally shot following an escape in 2001. Sandra and Jerome Harold purchased Travis for $50,000 from a breeder after he was taken from his mother when he was 3 days old. They named the chimp for Sandra's favorite singer, Travis Tritt. The Harolds raised him at their home at Rock Rimmon Road in North Stamford section of Stamford, Connecticut. He was the Harolds' constant companion and would often accompany them to work and on their shopping excursions in town. The Harolds owned a towing company, and Travis would pose for photos at the shop and ride with the tow truck, his seatbelt buckled as he wore a baseball shirt. He became well known in the town and had been known to greet police officers they would encounter when towing cars. Having grown up among people, he had been socialized to humans since birth. A neighbor said he used to play around and wrestle with Travis. He added the animal always knew when to stop and paid close attention to its owner. He listened better than my nephews, the neighbor remarked after Travis had mauled Nash. I just don't know why he would do that. He could open doors using keys, dress himself, water plants, feed hay to his owner's horses, eat at a table with the rest of the family, and drink wine from a stamped glass. He was so fond of ice cream that he learned the schedules of passing ice cream trucks. He logged onto the computer to look at pictures, watched television using a remote control, and brushed his teeth using a water pick. He enjoyed watching baseball on television. He had also driven a car on several occasions. Jerome died from cancer in 2004, and the Harold's only child died in a car accident as a result. Sandra Harold regarded Travis as almost a surrogate son and pampered him. She slept and bathed with Travis, saying after his death, "I'm like hollow now. He slept with me every night. Until you've eaten with a chimp and bathed with one, you don't know one." Those were her quotes, apparently. Now, of course, the incidents that led up to the fatal attack in 2009 are also described, and one of them in particular was in 2003, when Travis escaped from Harold's car and held up at traffic at a busy intersection. He was on the loose for several hours. The incident began after a pedestrian threw something at the car that went through a partially open window and struck Travis while they were stopped at a traffic light. Startled, Travis unbuckled his seatbelt, opened the car door and chased the man, but did not catch him. When police arrived, they lured the chimpanzee into the car several times, only to have him let himself out of another door and occasionally chase the officers around the car. In 2003, the incident led to the passing of a Connecticut law prohibiting people from keeping primates weighing more than 50 pounds as pets and requiring owners of exotic pets to apply for permits. The new law took effect in 2009, and as of Travis' death in the same year, no one in the state had applied to adopt a chimpanzee. The Connecticut Department of Environmental Protection did not enforce the law on the Heralds because they had owned the 200-pound Travis for so long, and the DEP did not believe he posed a public safety risk. That is, until this disturbing phone call to the police was made.
The chimp killed my friend!
What's the problem with your friend?
Oh, please!
What's the problem with your friend? I need to know.
Send the police up! With a gun! With a gun! Hurry
Who
up!
has a gun?
Please, hurry up! He's killing my girlfriend!
What is the problem?
He's killing my friend!
Who's killing your friend?
My chimpanzee!
Oh, your chimpanzee is killing your friend.
Yes! He ripped her apart! Hurry up!
With a gun.
Hurry up, please!
There's someone on the way.
With guns, please! Shoot him!
What is the monkey doing? Tell me what the monkey's...
He ripped her face off!
He ripped her face off?
He's trying to attack me! Please,
Okay,
hurry!
I need you to calm down a little bit. They're on the way. Can you put yourself away? I don't want the monkey attacking you.
Please, hurry up! Listen to me!
They're on the way, ma'am.
Now, this is not the whole recording, but essentially this was on the day of the attack where his owner called the police in complete terror, as you could have heard for yourself, because he was attacking a friend of hers. Now, the reason why he went haywire is also pretty bizarre, because ultimately it seemed that because Sandra's friend was wearing a Tickle Me Elmo, one of the monkey's or primate's favorite toys, he flew into a rage and attacked her when he saw her carrying that Elmo doll. It's crazy, right? Like, if a human would be like that, that's crazy, but with an animal it's actually just as crazy as well, if you think about it. So this is what they had to say about it. On February 16th, 2009, at around 3:40 p.m., Travis attacked Sandra Harold's 55-year-old friend Charla Nash, inflicting devastating injuries to her face and limbs. He had left the house with Sandra's car keys, and Nash came to help get the chimp back in the house. Upon seeing Nash holding a Tickle Me Elmo, one of his favorite toys, he flew into a rage and attacked her. Travis was familiar with Nash, who had also worked at the Harrow's towing company, although Nash had a different hairstyle at the time of the attack, which may have confused and alarmed him. He had been taking medication for Lyme disease. Harold, then 70 years old, attempted to stop Travis by hitting him on the head with a shovel and stabbing him in the back with a butcher knife. For me to do something like that, put a knife in him, was like putting one in myself, she later said. The chimp turned around, as if to say, "Mom, what did you do?" The animal grew angrier. Harold, at this point believing Nash to be dead, then called 911 and pleaded for help. Travis' screams can be heard in the background at the start of the tape as Sandra pleaded for the police, who initially believed the call to be a hoax until she started screaming, "He's eating her." Emergency medical services waited for police before approaching the house. Travis headed towards the police car when it arrived, tried to open a locked passenger door and smashed a side view mirror. Then he went around to the driver's side door and opened it, at which point Officer Frank Chavari shot him several times. Travis retreated to the house where he was found dead next to his cage. Now, the emergency crew described Nash's injuries as horrendous. Within the following 72 hours, Nash underwent more than 7 hours of surgery on her face and hands by 4 teams of surgeons. The hospital provided counseling to its staff members, who initially treated her because of the extraordinary nature of her wounds. Paramedics noted she lost her hands, nose, eyes, lip, and mid-face bone structure and received significant brain tissue injuries. Doctors reattached her jaw but announced on April 7, 2009 that Nash would be blind for life. Her injuries made her a possible candidate for an experimental face transplant surgery. After an initial treatment at Stamford Hospital, she was transferred to the Cleveland Clinic in Cleveland, Ohio. Her family started a trust fund to raise money to pay her unfathomable medical bills and support her daughter. Nash revealed her damaged face in public for the first time on the Oprah Winfrey Show on November 11, 2009. She was not at the time in physical pain from the attack, and family members said she hoped to leave the Cleveland Clinic soon. Pictures have surfaced on the internet displaying her face before and after the attack. The incident became an international news story. Shortly after the attack, a woman who had lived in the same area as Harold came forward with information that back in 1996, the chimpanzee had bitten her hand and tried to pull her into a vehicle as she greeted him. She claimed to have complained to the Harolds and to police, who stated they had no record of any such complaint. In June 2011, Nash underwent transplant surgery performed by a team led by Dr. Bowden Pahamek at the Harvard teaching affiliate, Brigham and Women's Hospital, receiving a donated face and hands. The hands transplant was initially successful, but because Nash developed pneumonia shortly thereafter, doctors were forced to remove her newly transplanted hands due to the infection and resulting poor circulation. In accordance with standard procedure, Travis' head was taken to the state laboratory for a rabies test, and the body was taken to the University of Connecticut for a necropsy. The head tested negative for rabies, but there was Xanax remaining in his system. Necropsy results in May 2009 confirmed the chimp was overweight and had been stabbed. The remains were cremated at All Pets Crematory in Stamford on February 25, 2009. Toxicology reports confirmed Sandra's statement that she had given Travis Xanax-laced tea the day of the attack, which could have exacerbated his aggression. Xanax is a short-acting, potent anti-anxiety drug that can cause disinhibition and disorientation, and occasionally paradoxical reactions of hallucination, aggression, rage, and mania in humans. Well, what a crazy case. That is pretty much the basic details of what happened to this chimpanzee and the reason for him being, well, eventually killed. But you see, what do you do in a situation like that? There's no way you can let such a monkey free. Like a chimpanzee. I like to say monkey, but maybe that's like a different kind of lower category within those species. I don't know. If it is, sorry about that. But let's be honest here. Ultimately, as sad as this is, he also isn't really the kind of animal one should have as a pet. But I guess to each their own. They tried to do the best, but it all went down to shit in the end. Which happens more often than you might realize with exotic animals that aren't meant to be held in captivity in this manner. So ultimately, I guess the good news is that the woman survived. However, at what price? She has been permanently disfigured and disabled in a way. It's absolutely tragic. I guess the only thing we can do is hope that everything is alright. That she somehow can get through life to the best of her abilities that she still has left. Now, with that being said, dear viewer, have sweet dreams.